In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Our readings today speak about our allegiance. Who do we serve? Who do we follow? Some churches decided at PCC meetings that they're happy to fly Ukrainian flags from their church buildings, which is strictly illegal, but it shows solidarity. In fact, if you're a flag person, it means that we have given our buildings over to the Ukrainian state, because the flag stands for territory, it stands for rule and authority. We're supposed to fly the diocesan St George, although the regulations are looser now than they were, so we can fly at different times of the year than just on the high days and the holy days as prescribed. What do we fly as our flag? Do we wear our hearts on our sleeve? Can people see what we believe and what we know? Our first reading is one of those occasional scriptures where it's fairly clear that the reading was written to be rehearsed, to be heard. We might remember our bedtime stories of the three little pigs, I will huff and I will puff and I'll blow your house down. And we as children, if not as parents, long for that repetition to come around again as the smile broadens on the faces of those to whom we're reading it for or with. And here we have Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego, those excellent names repeated time and again. I was given a Christmas Bible from a godparent that had a colour plates in it. It was a proper words, King James and everything, but every so often there would be splendid pictures. And I can remember loving the idea of Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego, and I was stomp around as a 60-year-old, just repeating them over and over again as a little hum. But also got those names of those splendid instruments, the lyre, fiddle, harp, drum, horn, etc., entire musical ensemble. We get the message that we are supposed to bow the knee to the powers that are in charge at the time. Let us not forget these three actually had Hebrew names. These were the names given to them by the people that had taken them into exile. Just as people can be renamed. We have stories from time to time, don't we, of First Nation peoples being taken over by white people who've taken over their land and adopted and given new names, moved to different places, trained in the right way to live and believe. So that had happened to these people. They were already exiled, they were refugees, immigrants, they'd been taken into the country, remarkably, by those who had taken them over, rather than kept outside, but nevertheless they were being oppressed. They were being told that they had to worship the God of the people that had taken them into captivity, and they said, no, we'll worship our God. And that made their rulers cross, but they went with it anyway. They were thrown into the fiery furnace, and there was a fourth person, whilst there were three thrown into the pit, and the fourth one had the appearance of a god. When we are under pressure, either us personally, at home or at work, we as church under pressure from the state, in our own land, or in other lands around the world, can people see in us the presence of another? Or do we rely on our own strength? Do we become aggressive, arrogant? Do we curl up in the ball and run away? Is God present in how we respond and react to, in this case, the idolatry of a nation that had taken us into captivity, away from where we would rather be, destroyed our identity, and forced us to assimilate? How do we respond to that? And in our Gospel reading, Jesus, who is Jewish, is talking to other Jews, so we have to be aware, particularly in John, written slightly later than the context in which the stories were set, where Christianity was slightly separate from Judaism, that actually Jesus is Jewish, and so this should not be a basis of Christian-Jewish relations, this and other texts like it. I always think to myself that there should probably be a qualifying word either side of the word Jew. Are these Judeans? Are they the Jewish authorities? Are they believing Jews? Are they antagonistic Jews? And throughout the Gospels, Jews turn up and talk to Jesus, and they're sometimes looking for clarification, sometimes actually looking for help, and sometimes looking to mock, deride, and find evidence against Jesus. So we need to recognise that it isn't Christian-Jewish dialogue as it is set. It might have been a time that was written, and that dialogue is put into Jesus' mouth. But Jesus and these Jews are talking about their heritage, their traditions, and where they put their faith. They say that their father is Abraham. They say they have never been enslaved. But Jesus says that they are enslaved to their wrongdoing, their selfishness, and their greed. Wherever we put our identity or our hope, without wishing to become too political, it seems to me that if those in charge of the state of Israel today had the same attitude to faith and God, hospitality and refuge, as their God would hope they had, their care and attentiveness to those with whom they share their land might be different to that which we see today. Can people see in us, in the way we live and move and have our being, how we respond? Can they see in us where we place our trust and our faith? Do our traditions, does our interpretation of Scripture, does our logic mean more to us than being seen to be and known to be people of God under pressure? We are not illegitimate children. We have one Father, God Himself. Amen.